What is up, everybody? We are back and coming off a winning week. Steven Yeager, outright win at 50-1. That was quite the stressful Sunday. Hope everyone had a good Easter. I could not believe that nobody could catch him on that back nine. Everyone was flipping out putts. Scheffler missed a 5-footer. Toasty bogeyed his last hole. Somehow, some way, Yeager ended up holding on. And yeah, first big outright of the season, which is nice. I think I mentioned him on the show as an outright bet last week. If not, let's hope to get one this week. The Masters is coming up, so this is going to serve as a warm-up event for much of the field, at least those that have already punched their ticket to Augusta National. If the golfer is not in the field yet for the Masters, they're going to have to win this week to get in. The course is going to be TPC San Antonio, the Oaks course. It's a par 72, over 7,400 yards. Fairways here very narrow, like 28 yards wide on average. The rough is pretty thick, so you definitely want to keep it straight if you can. Distance is going to be an advantage on the par fives, but it's not necessarily a prerequisite for success at this course. We've seen a lot of shorter hitters perform well here over the years. And this is really more about total driving, hitting fairways, than it is about pure distance. If you strayed too far off the tee, you were going to be in trouble. Kevin Na made like an 18 here one year. I usually pull that video up on YouTube every year before this event just to get a chuckle, but forgot to pull it up before this video. So if you do want to get a laugh, check that out. He hit it into the hazard area, waste area, native area, whatever you want to call it, and he could not get out of it. And he made a huge number at this event, at this course a few years ago. The greens are average in size, 6,400 square feet on average. They're very difficult to hit. So I think the field last year hit the greens about 61% in regulation. And this brings into play short game. We'll quickly sort by guys that have played the best at this course over the years. And you're going to see a lot of guys that are very good with their short game. Not so much Corey Connors, but Jordan Spieth, excellent short game. Brandt Snedeker, excellent short game. Matt Kuchar, excellent short game. Aaron Baddeley, same thing. So a lot of these guys that aren't necessarily the best ball strikers are very good around the green, and that's kind of how they play so well here each and every year. If everyone's missing greens, those that can chip well, putt well, are going to be giving themselves an advantage. Or the other route you can do, which is the Corey Connors route, is just to hit all the greens in regulation, not have to worry about chipping and putting so much. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at the course. I don't mind taking chances on bad putters. I want strong tee to green types, similar to what we had last week in Houston. And then the winning score is probably going to be in the teens. Difficulty is usually in the top 15 on the PGA Tour, so it's not necessarily an easy course, but it's not the most difficult course either. And then holes with water hazards, only 3 of them, so not a lot of water in play this week. And then you just got to look out for the wind. This is Texas. It is going to blow. So keep up to date with your weather forecast. Kevin Roth will have his up this week on RotoGrinders. I also have the wind finder links and the AccuWeather links in my first look article and in my core plays article. Now, if you do want to join RG Premium, you can download this model that you're looking at right now, and you can go ahead and customize it to your liking. So if you just want to focus on guys that have been playing well over, the last 3 months, last 24 rounds, you can bump up the short-term numbers. You can bump up the midterm numbers. You can bump up the long-term numbers. If you want to just look at guys that play well in Texas, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to just look at guys that make a lot of birdies, or guys that, are just great scramblers, maybe you want to look at approach play, whatever it may be, you can customize it to your own liking. You can change the weights up here at the top, and then the rating over here in this column right here will automatically adjust. So just for example, we'll change the long-term to 25. You can see all those numbers adjust right there. And then they will automatically pull over into this sheet here, the upload sheet. And from there, you can upload these right into Lineup HQ. So it's a way to create your own set of rankings that are going to be different from everyone else's in the industry. And then you can upload those and build lineups off of those ratings. So I really like doing this. I've always been a big fan of models. And speaking of models, we have a deal with the Rabbit Hole at BetSperts, which is an awesome stat engine. You can basically filter anything you would like, from grass type to difficulty of the course to the par of the course, where the course is located, any kind of time frame you want to look at. So I came up with my custom Rabbit Hole filter for the week. I looked at courses that were par 72s, courses that were long courses that were at least average in difficulty, and came up with this. So guys are rated out the best in this particular filter that I did on the rabbit hole. We will have a link if you do want to try it out. You get a discount if you sign up using our promo code. So make sure to check that out if you do want to check out the rabbit hole. It is my favorite stat engine in the industry, so give that a look. But Rory McIlroy, Sam Stevens, Jordan Spieth, Danny McCarthy is an interesting name to see up there, and Corey Connors. So a lot of these guys have good course history. Connors being one, Spieth being another, Sam Stevens being another. So definitely interesting. Maybe this filter might be able to be bumped up a little bit. Now, in terms of the stats, I'm looking at total driving more than I'm looking at stroke gain up the tee. Pretty big weight to stroke gain approach. As I've talked about in past videos, this expected approach column here takes a look at Data Golf gives you an average, or they project how many shots each golfer in the field is projected to hit from each range. So it'll say Rory McIlroy is projected to hit 5.6 shots from 50 to 100 yards in the fairway. So I take each of those numbers, and then I take the actual stroke gain of those golfers in those different buckets, and I come up with a rating here. So this is just based on this week's specific course. So this is going to change each and every week based on the course, based on the expected approach shot distances. So number one in the field is going to be Collin Morikawa for the week, then Rory, then Hideki, then Connors, then Henley. So pretty good list there. Bumped up stroke gain around the green. This is one of the highest weights that I've had it all season. Stroke gain putting, I do have the greens themselves are going to be, they're Bermuda, but they're overseeded with Poa Trivalis. So I went ahead and looked at Poa Trivalis splits when it comes to putting. So if you want to check that out, guys that put the best on those specific green types, which we've seen those, I think, 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. And then birdie or better, bogey avoidance. I like to give my weight to the longer distance, especially earlier in the season. So this takes into account, all of the last 12 months rather than just the last 3 months. Because some golfers, someone like Rory McIlroy, his last 3 months stats aren't going to be very good. Strokes getting around the green have been struggling. Bogey avoidance has been struggling. Putting hasn't been as good. The approach play hasn't been as good. But we know he's an elite golfer, so I like to focus on the long-term skill set a little bit more, especially on difficult golf courses. Course fit, I don't have it at any 0% just because some of the guys that I really like, Morikawa, Rory, Connors, the course fit from Data Golf. So not necessarily something that I want to include in my model, but if you want to, they have a reason for their for this statistic here. So if you want to include it, you can. I have it at 0%. Course history, I put at 4%. I only have it at 4% because I also have strokes gained in Texas at 4%. So that's kind of some overlap there because these Texas splits do include this course as well. But course history here has been pretty predictive over the years. So guys that have good course history tend to play here well again in the future. Guys that play the best in Texas, Spieth, Kuchar, Connors, Hideki, Morikawa, Noren, and Aaron Rai, who I really like this week. Okay, let's get into the player pool. And then we'll talk about some ownership, some potential fades. As always, I have golfer notes for about 50, 60 golfers in the field. Next week, I'll try to have a golfer note for every single golfer in the Masters, which is going to be a lot of fun. Trying to build that bankroll for the first major of the season. So Rory McIlroy, 12-3 at 30% ownership. Pros and cons of Rory. Pro, he's Rory McIlroy. He's the best golfer in the field. Cons, he's very expensive, and he doesn't play here often. He missed a cut here in his only appearance in 2022. He does want to play well before the Masters. The form hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been great. Top 25s each of his last 4 starts, but nothing special. I mean, he just seems to have those blow-up rounds. Now, there isn't a lot of water on this course, so maybe that'll help him. He seems to have, I read he's already had more double bogeys this year than he had at any point through all of 2023. But the problem is, I don't know. I just don't feel great about him. And if you play him, you're kind of stuck going down to the 7Ks and 6Ks, which I do like some golfers down there. It's kind of a hard decision on Rory McIlroy. I definitely have some in MME. I don't think he's going to make my single entry build myself. Jordan Spieth at 9,500. He has lost strokes on approach. He's lost at least 2.5 strokes on approach in 3 of his last 4 starts. So that is not good. But he loves this course. He's from Texas. He's won here before. Always seems to play the week before the Masters. So Man, I do like Spieth. If you want to start with Spieth at 9,500, create a balanced lineup. I don't mind that one bit. Ludwig Aubert has been playing great. So look at this form: 8th, 25th, 19th, 2nd, 9th. He's an elite total driver of the ball. Should be able to feast on these par fives. Played here as an amateur, so at least he's seen the course before. He missed the cut, but again, he was an amateur. He's a much different golfer now. So I don't mind Aubert. I think I prefer him over Rory when it comes to point per dollar options. And as you can see, Rory's only got a rating of 89.3. Three guys within 2 percentage points of him. We usually don't see that. I mean, when Scheffler's in the field, he's like 10 percentage points ahead of everyone else in the field. Rory, not so much. So I'm going to be underweight, I believe. Max Homa, he's been playing pretty well. He's got a lot of high-end finishes this year, but a lot of it's been the short game. The ball striking hasn't been all that good. Does rate out well in the rabbit hole filter that I set up. Did make the cut here in 2019. You could easily make the case to start with like Homa and Spieth, or Spieth and Connors, something like that. We'll get to Connors here in a second. Morikawa, I think he's a great course fit because he hits a ton of fairways. He's an elite iron player. And look at these around the green numbers. You don't think of him as a guy that's good around the green, but top 40 in this field pretty much, no matter what time frame you're looking at. The putter is always a wild card, but again, I don't mind taking a look at some bad putters. So I do like Morikawa, especially at that 17% ownership number. These ownership numbers are from Tuesday. If you do want to sign for RG Premium, we update these every single day with 2 updates on Wednesday, I believe. So yeah, you'll have access to those. These will all be updated if you are an RG Premium member. We'd love to have you as well. Hideki Matsuyama is playing great. He gained 14.2 strokes tee to green at the Players, one of the best marks of his entire career. He won earlier this year at Riviera, and T15 and T30 here the last couple of years. So definitely not a lot bad to say about him. He's going to head into the Masters next week where he's won before. So a lot is trending in the right direction for Hideki. Henley projects so well. He always projects so well. I don't think he's going to be 11% owned if anybody's using, stats and models to build their lineups, just because he's accurate off the tee. He's a lead iron player. He's pretty good around the greens. Yeah, he's really good around the greens. And then look at these putting numbers. He has gained 13.5 strokes putting over the last 3 starts. So if he continues the hot putter and then finally gets the tee to green game to come around just a little bit, he can not only, pay off the salary, he could win this week. 45-1. I don't mind adding him to the outright card. Connors loves this place. He's been awesome ball striking. He's number 1 in the field in greens and regulation this year. Hard to make a case against him other than the high ownership. I talked to everyone, and myself included, into playing Joel Damon last week. I thought he was good chalk. He was not good chalk. Missed the cut. I'm hoping I'll probably be a little underweight on Connors and MME, but I think for single entry cash games, he's probably the best starting point of anybody above 9K. Also love Benny On. So he's been playing well. I think he has 4 top 4 finishes over his last 12 starts, something like that. He's been awesome. He's got 2 top 10s here. He's a great course fit. He's, lead off the tee, good around the green. He's an improving putter. I think he is one of my favorite plays on the board at 9K. Also bet him outright. Tommy Fleetwood. So I don't know what's happening right now, but I was looking at his numbers yesterday. He's lost 16.3 strokes on approach in his last 5 starts. That is very unlike Tommy. He's one of the more pure ball strikers on the PGA Tour. So I don't know. He's never played here before, so I don't think I can get to Tommy. He's one of my favorite golfers, but man, those approach numbers are really scary. I'm hoping they just improve a little bit so we can play him next week at the Masters. Aaron Rai, Lucas Glover, 2 of the better value plays on the board. Aaron Rai loves playing in Texas. Back-to-back top 30s here, coming off of a T7 last week, one of the best in the field in greens and regulation. And then you have Lucas Glover, 3 top 20s here in his last 4 starts, coming off of a T11 finish, also very good in Texas. And he has gained around the green in 6 of his last 7. 6 of his last 7. So I love these 2. I think they should both be $1,000 more expensive. Probably going to be popular, but early ownership projections don't suggest so. Harman's been striping his irons very well. Historically, pretty accurate driver of the ball. Adam Scott's numbers have been all over the place. Don't have a strong take on him. So Fitzpatrick, do we trust the fact that when he came out after the Players, he said that there was a weight in his grip on his driver, and that's why, and they just found it. It had been there for like a year due to some testing. I mean, I don't know how that happens, but he said that's what happened, and then he took out the weight, and all of a sudden he gained 4.7 strokes off the tee at the Players, which was easily his best mark in about a year. So maybe there's something to it. I don't necessarily love the price, but he has been playing a little bit better recently. We know he likes difficult golf courses. Eric Cole's been hit or miss, but a guy that, other than off the tee, he's elite everywhere. I think I might bet him as well. 66 to 1. If he was in a little bit better form, he would be 30 to 1. So I do like the value there. Noren, I think he's going to be very popular. 3 straight top 20s on tour. T15 here last year. Ball striking numbers look good. I think he's gained across the board in all 4 of the strokes gain categories in those 3 starts. Harris English hasn't missed a cut since July. 4 straight top 25s. He's interesting. His ball striking numbers are getting better. Kim's let me down 2 weeks in a row, but 6,900 is a good price point. Akshay, great finish last week. Back-to-back top 20s. Made the cut here last year. Could see why people are playing him. Billy Horschel's been playing well. 3 top 15s in his last 4 starts. And apparently the lie on his irons were off, so he bent them or unbent them. I couldn't really tell from the transcript. But he changed the lie on his irons, and all of a sudden he's hitting, ton of greens in regulation. He's finished T11 here in the past. He's one of those guys that when he's in form, he's in form. So the fact that he's coming off of back-to-back top 15s, even though the model doesn't love him because, there's a lot of bad results to go into the, his long-term numbers. But I do like him this week at 8,900. Seabass has been playing well. McNeely has been elite everywhere except on approach. So if you can just get the irons a little bit better, I mean, look at all these cuts made. He hasn't missed a cut in the last 10 weeks. So I do like McNeely at 7,400. Tom Kim, I'll let other people play Tom Kim. He's one of my favorites. I've seen him on a lot of betting cards, but I just haven't seen the form. I mean, no top 20s in his last 10 weeks. I don't love that. The Bow Show in Texas made the cut last week. I think this course is a lot better for his skill set. So I'll play some Bow Show. Hubbard's been playing well. A lead iron player. If you can just keep it together off the tee, I think he's going to be solid. He did miss the cut here last year. Speaking of good ball strikers, Keith Mitchell just continues to put up great ball striking numbers and terrible on and around the green numbers. Lashley was a model favorite last week. I told you guys and gals, if there's any gals out there watching this, he was like 13th in the model overall, and he was 60-something hundred. Finished T21. Solid finish. I'll go back to the well at 6,200. Putnam is interesting. I think that'll just about do it. I'll also like Johnny Vegas. The ball striking numbers have been awesome. It's coming back from injury. The short game has a lot of work to do, but he's played pretty well here in the past. So that'll do it for this week. If you want to join RG Premium, we'd love to have you. If you don't, thanks for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. That goes a long way in helping us make these videos for you. Hope everyone has a great week. I'm available on Twitter and in our Discord at all times. If you ever have any questions about strategy or player pool or individual golfers, just let me know. I love talking to all of you. So with that, good luck. We'll see you next week for the Masters. Good luck, everybody.